Test, test, here we go. You are live, okay. I've never live streamed on my YouTube channel yet, so this is new. I usually try on Twitch, but I figured Twitch isn't really the best. It's better for gaming, it's not really the greatest for all this other stuff. Okay, I can't tell. Is this going? Okay. It says it's working. I'm just going to assume it's working. Oh yeah, there it is. Alright, so I did stream on Twitch the last 2 days. I'm switching to this for now. Just to try it out. I don't know. I just want to see how YouTube is. So yesterday mostly I worked on the rail. I cut out a whole bunch of brackets. I cut the steering wheel. I don't know what you want to call that. I guess the bracket that holds the steering wheel in place. I cut that down. I'm going to probably move it over. It was over to the left too far. It was just weird. I might even lower it too because I don't need it. It was like kind of high and it only has one universal joint in it. So it can come out of the steering rack and pinion, but it just comes straight out then from there. So wherever I have it, it's kind of angled that way, no matter what. So I might lower it. I'm going to have a quick release so I still be able to get in and out, hopefully. But anyway, that's not what I'm doing right now. I did already start a little bit on my bike, so I'm going to change this secondary camera really quick. I also just want to see the chat. How do I only see chat? We'll see it like that. Make this a little bit smaller. There. Sort of. Alright, so we're going to try it like this for a little bit. I'm going to move that secondary camera and then I'll maybe just switch over to that camera for now. Although maybe I'll leave it so you guys can kind of see both. I don't know if I can. Okay. I guess you can kind of see the bike now. I'm going to do it like that. Alright. So hopefully you guys can hear me and everything. So what I basically done today, I did have a phone charger on here. I have a Cardo Pack Talk, and it works really well. And it used to be more usable with a phone, which is kind of weird when you're biking. You're not really supposed to be using your phone, but you can kind of see who you were talking to and a bunch of other stuff like that. They kind of got rid of that, and now it's mostly just plug and play. You just kind of meet people and set it up the old-fashioned way, just like all the other systems. My bike does need a big clean. Anyway, I took off the phone mount, the phone charger. Might put that back on in a different way later, I'm not sure. But basically I had a ton of wires running directly to the battery. I had my heated vest, I had heated grips, I had the phone charger, I have my power commander that has one line going there, just the negative, but still. And I killed my lithium-ion battery. So a minute ago I took out my lithium-ion battery, I took it over there, my lithium charger would not charge it because it was too low, so I jumped it with a regular battery to get it to a point where it was readable by my charger, so my charger started charging it. It's actually good now, so maybe I'll start this in a little bit and you guys can hear it run. But I also have been working on the handlebars. I have one of these clamps on here. The other clamp, I broke the bolt for it. It didn't come with its own bolts. So I found these two that I had lying around from my old YZF, and it was engine mount bolts. But I was a lot younger, and I think I over torqued it once. So when I was trying to tighten this up, I tightened it a little bit too much, I guess, and it snapped the head right off. So anyway, I have one of those on. But this is going to be my new handlebar setup. Technically, these are my old risers. So what is that, like another inch? Another 2 inches taller? But compared to my new bar, well, I don't know, it's not that much different. Let's see here. I don't know, it's almost about 2 inches. So this will be almost the same, but it won't go back as far probably. So it's going to be pretty close. It looks better, in my opinion, than having the huge risers. I don't like the huge look of the risers. I also figured if I wanted to, I could do more of a cafe racer style. It would be a pain, I'd have to switch it over all the time, but it'd be kind of cool to do that for a little bit. But anyway, I like to be not broken all the time, so it'll probably be like this for the most part. But I need a bolt. I don't have a bolt right now, so that's not what I'm doing today. Anyway, so I have been trying to get off my old handle heated grips, but it's not working very well. I really glued these on because my heated grips, they're kind of a pain. The other reason I didn't like them, there's just too many cords. It made it like, I like it to look simple, and there's already so many different wires and cords kind of going down. This added one from each handlebar going down through here, and then a couple going through there going back out, and then another one coming back out for the controller. So anyway, I didn't have any acetone, so I stole the wife's nail polish remover, which has acetone in it, and it's supposed to break down crazy glue, but I don't know, I got the other bar off, but this one I haven't got off yet. I don't know, I'm trying to save it because I might use it on my bobber cafe build type thing over there. Anyway, also just before I went live, I took off the rear pegs now, so now I no longer can take passengers, which I haven't for a long time. My wife has her own bike. I saved another 2 pounds, I don't know. But whatever, 2 pounds, right? With my battery, I changed the exhaust. I got rid of these now. The handlebars are actually technically lighter. The risers are a little bit lighter. I feel like there was more stuff. I technically had carbon fiber on there, but that saved like 0.02 a pound. It's mostly for looks. 1 second. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more on my bike. The other big thing I would like to do is I want to remove this rear seat completely. I want to keep this seat. It's actually pretty comfortable. It's really dirty though. This whole bike needs cleaning. So 2 big things I'd like to do. I want to redo the entire exhaust. I kind of just welded these O2 sensor bungs in here last year. They're not very well welded in. I don't like it. It looks kind of ugly. So I'd like to do a whole new custom exhaust, but I just haven't had time. And I'd like to do the seat where it ends like right here, maybe even following this line right there. Which means I'd have to chop off the back. But actually, that wouldn't be too bad. That would be actually kind of cool. The other thing I don't really like is how because I took off it used to have under seat exhausts. Because I removed those, it took off the fairings, because the fairings look weird without having exhaust here. And so now I have this seat that overhangs from the rear subframe by quite a bit. The other thing I'm gonna have to figure out. The other thing I'm gonna figure out is where all this stuff's gonna go. There's not a lot of room underneath this seat. Maybe I'll have to add some depth here, or move the ECU further down inside there. There's like a little cavity down below in this frame here where I took a bunch of stuff out. So technically if I move the battery tray out, I could probably put the power commander stuff, have the wire from the power commander coming out here or something so I can still plug it in and change up some tuning stuff. I still want to adjust that this year. But yeah, so pretty much everything behind here is going to be cut off eventually, and I have to figure out how to make it look good so it doesn't look like terrible. Plus, my brake lights and signal lights look terrible. They don't show up very well. So I need to, the whole rear end needs to be worked, but I mean it's rideable now since I fixed the battery. Let that thing come on. Weird, I'm actually missing stuff. Apparently, one of my washers fell out. Anyway, I might have to get a new plate too, because that's getting kind of sketchy. I don't know. Anyway, I actually don't know what else I'm going to do now. I did take out, so like I said, I took out all those wires. That's pretty much all I'm going to do. I guess I could plug it in. Why don't I start this just so it's started. Let me this. Plug that in. I need to get my battery, and I think it's a 10. Let me find out. So here's my lithium-ion battery. I actually wanted to get a new one, but they're pretty expensive. This one's kind of nice. It has its own tester, so you can kind of always see what the level's at. And I guess over the winter, with all those extra accessories hooked up, it just kind of drained it. So I'm going to have to be more proactive about charging it when I need to. This also is probably a slight bit too small for it's a slight bit too small for my bike. So I was gonna get a anti-gravity battery, but I just haven't done that yet. I got one for my wife's bike, but her bike is also a lot smaller than mine, engine-wise, so it doesn't need a huge, expensive battery. That'll work. You're not supposed to jump these, but I did. And it worked out fine. I think mainly you're not supposed to jump it with a battery that's a lot bigger in capacity compared. So I jumped it with my wife's old bike battery. It gave it just enough charge to make it low. And then that's all I needed. Okay, what am I going to do here? That's positive, that's negative, and this is negative. So, that. Like I said, there's not a lot of space here, so it's kind of hard. You have to just kind of mash it in. Sorry, I don't have a better camera angle for this, but not that it's very exciting, it's just a freaking battery. Wow, okay. Whew. Please stay upright. There we go. Wow, that was a lot of work. Okay. It's easier and safer to hook up the negative blast. If you hook up the positive blast, usually sparks. Not that it's a big deal, but I mean, I guess it could be a big deal, depending on what you're doing. And I am going to hook up my heated vest again. That is really nice to have. I don't even remember how I did this last year. There's not enough space at all for any of this. Hope it catches. Potential. Actually, I think I got it. Yes, I did. Okay. Positive terminal connected. Actually, I don't know how much fuel is in this thing either. And I had like a little piece of paper underneath the freaking bolt holding it up, but now I don't think it's reaching. So that's a pain. Oh, I see. Should have music going too, but I don't. Apologies. I put that there. That was stupid of me, wasn't it? I need a little something to push up the nut on the back side of the battery. It's not, this bolt is not quite long enough to reach all the way down there and pick it up when it's going through two other things. Now I think I dropped it. Oh, I did too. Okay. One moment. Get my magnet. Sadly, I can't ride it today because of the handlebar situation. Otherwise, everything is ready to ride. What can I put underneath this? I guess you pull it out a little bit and use a screwdriver maybe. Yeah, I'll always do that. Okay. Let me get a screwdriver. All my small ones are all the way across the entire bridge. Or I could just hold it with this. Would be the smart thing to do. Yeah, I can do that. Just like garbage all over the garage right now. Let's not arc across both terminals here. worth a try. Let's try wedging something underneath it now. Definitely would have left that there. If I thought about it. Got it. Whew, that took way too long. Okay. Push that back in a little bit more. Now let's check her fuel. There is some, not very much, but there is a little bit. Let's open the garage a bit. I forgot something. Actually, leave it open for a second. It wouldn't have been running, right? Because that's not plugged in. That's probably why it isn't starting very good. The power commander didn't have its ground. That's what I mean. I already have the main negative terminal, and then I also have the power commander and my heated vest. So there's just so much stuff going on. And I used to have two more. That's way too many. I'll try to start one more time just to see how it does. That went on a lot easier that time. Okay, so now that's plugged in properly. We have this, which I'll just kind of tuck in here for now. I got these custom switches too, which is nice. I'm getting another custom switch for this side, so that I can kind of have my turn signals, horn, and high beams. It's a I think it's just a 3-button now. So the high beams might have to go to this side. There we go. So the bike's running, it's running good. I have it on a very basic tune right now. I want to tune it a little bit better for more power. Right now it's pretty much on, I wouldn't say economy, but just like perfect air fuel mixtures is what it's targeting. It's an auto tune I have on here. It has 202 sensors. You pick your target air fuel, it'll try to match that. And then you can set it to like lower and lower standards. So at first you can have it really wide, so we can change it from 0 to 100. Well, not that it would do that, 0 to like 20 air fuel ratio. And it'll every like second or something, it'll adjust it slowly and slowly to try to make it match whatever you set it at. Like I don't even know what I'm gonna say. You can change it between like, I don't know what the one is. I think it's like 0 and 10 or 0 and 20 is the max, which is ridiculous. So if you set it all at 12 throughout the rev range, it'll try to hunt each one from the base tunes, whatever the base tune is. I had it set up on an MT-01 tune with exhaust and stuff, but we live in Calgary where the exhaust, we're a little bit higher elevation, so it was running really, really rich. It was actually fouling plugs. But now it's a lot better that I have that auto tune. It's been able to correct it from that tune to what I have now. So that's pretty much done, except for I need to clean it, do a different exhaust eventually. I don't know if it'll happen this year, might wait till winter. And then the other thing I just have to do is get the handlebars done. So I'm going to close the garage. Oops. Now I have to get this out. How do I do that? I do not know. I might just take a wrench and try to refund it. I kind of wanted to save these so that I could use them on my other bike, but might not be able to. I guess I was shaking the whole house. I don't know if I'm going to get this off. I don't need to get this off right now, but I just gonna like hang over my head until I do. Alright, whatever. This can go on this bike maybe. Actually, if it goes on this bike, not that you guys can see it, but if it goes on this bike, I don't need to take off that handlebar anyway. Maybe I'll just leave it like that for now. Anyway, so that's one thing down, out of the way for now. I'm going to set my seat back in here. Here, I'll adjust you guys first. Here, I've been trying to like maintain cleanliness, so every time I switch to a different thing, I put the other tools away, just so I don't end up with tools everywhere. That's what usually happens. I'll just put this here somewhere. I have another one on my other thing anyway. There we go. Even though I'm probably going to end up picking up this wrench again with the exact same 10mm socket, I've been just putting them back every single time so I don't get this mess where I have stuff everywhere. Alright, so that's done. Still have these things here, so clearly I didn't do a good enough job of putting everything away. I guess I could go do that. It'd be kind of cool to see what the handlebars would look like on that bike. Let me just test the voltage of the battery, see if it's damaged or if it's okay. Why is it reading that? The heck? Oh, I hit data hold, that's why. Also, I don't need D1. 13 volts. So apparently it's fine. It's not the best battery for this bike. The battery is definitely too small for this bike, which probably didn't help when it hadn't been run for a while, but what can you do? Alright, so everything's still running. Good, good, good. I'm going to put in a piece of metal across these. Okay, first let me change this. I'll leave it like that. So I need to take out the cutters. I should put on my gloves, even though I've already got my hands filthy. Oh, there's a couple other things I want to do with that bike too, I forgot. Maybe I'll even use this. These, you probably can't see it anymore now. You kind of can. Okay, so if you can kind of see right here, I have the reservoir. This thing has a hydraulic brake, obviously, but also has a hydraulic clutch. So I have two of these. They're really nice billet pieces for holding fluid. but the mount for them that goes from the bottom of this to the handlebars is made out of some kind of cheap some cheap stuff. I can't even think right now. Some cheap aluminum, so my bike vibrates so much it breaks them all the time. Just like the tiny bit of pressure that this holds any other way while it's vibrating just shears that metal. And you can tell it's like some kind of pot aluminum. It's weird. Hopefully that'll hold. Anyway, so though these look nice, I might just switch to some clear line that goes up and over, and then I'll use potentially. You guys have I even see that? This. Just cut it in half, epoxy off the end, paint it, and then stuff that in the end to be the stopper for the clear tube. I have a ton of clear tube. I can easily do that. Just suck all the fluid out of here, hook on a clear one on both sides, and that would make that really simple and quick to do. I guess the other big thing with these handlebars is they're quite a bit longer than my other handlebars. So I'm easily going to be able to fit all that stuff on there and the mirrors on the end instead of going into the tube itself like I did with my other one. I hope, anyway. Should be able to. I can test it right now. I'll come over there and test it. So before, I used to have these mirrors and they just went into the bar ends like that, which I could probably do, although the bar ends are a lot narrower on this one. Or a lot. It's filled in a lot more, I should say. I don't know what to call that. But. Now. So we'll need this. I guess I can just loosen that up. Hold on. Okay, it's going to be tight, but I think it'll work. Where is, I already put that away. Let me grab a screwdriver. Get hands all dirty again. Nothing. I always like the underslung. My shoulders always seem to get in the way for having them out the other way. Even stock mirrors don't really work. So I might have to sand this down a little bit. But that doesn't actually take that long, so I don't want to do that right now. This is going to work, I just need to do that, so I just don't feel like doing it. Yeah, it will work. I'm just going to use the belt sander to sand this down a little bit. And then essentially, this will be the bar. The mirror will sit like this. And because these bars are a lot out further, when I turn my handlebars to park and stuff, hopefully these mirrors don't hit my tank and stuff. Last year was a big problem I had whenever I turned the bars, it would hit and then adjust my mirrors. And it was annoying, and I didn't like it. So I thought the gold was kind of cool, but I have nothing else gold on the bike right now. Whatever. I do want to change the paint too. I'm probably going to wrap the tank. I did set it down last year, going like 2 kilometers an hour. My brother, who is also part of this channel, was there and he saw it. Yeah, I was literally going 2. It was more embarrassing than it was devastating. Although it did scratch up my exhaust, scratched up my carbon fiber, made me angry. But I mean, it didn't cause any damage to me or the bike really, just superficial stuff. And there's a little dent in the tank too. All annoying stuff, but not the end of the world. So that's that. I can show you this too, I guess. So I'll put this back over here first. Okay. I'm going to show you the reservoir fluid holder bracket and how it snaps. It happened on both of them for both sides. Well, half of it's on the bike, so you won't be able to see it, but basically this is the side that broke. Try to capture the light, which I can't. I don't know. Anyway, it basically just broke up top, right beside that bolt on this end of it. You can't really see with the lighting. Maybe you can there. You can kind of see where it broke. Right here, it just snapped off. On both sides, I like these because they actually look good. They're not just like cheap plastic things, although apparently they're cheap metal things. But they look good. They were fairly adjustable. It had like an adjustment here, and then at this end it's also adjustable and it's swiveled. It's swiveled in multiple ways so you can kind of get what you wanted. It didn't work for me. Alright, so I'm going to go sit in the sand rail. I'm going to move this to this side for now. That left-hand side, the driver's side position, you can see the steering wheel shaft is on the floor of the rail right now. And you can kind of see basically on either side of the steering wheel shaft, you can see like the bottom rail along the floor. There's the one on the left, the one on the right you can't really see, it's underneath the shifter and stuff. But basically between those two, I'm going to lay down some pieces of metal, weld them on, and then that'll be my seat bracket. But I want the seat kind of laid back a little bit for comfort for me. Anyway, I tried to do it between the 2 rails, but to make it even lower sitting. But if I do that, it's a little bit too tight with the steering with the seat I have, the Kirky. Again, I might get a different Kirky eventually here, but that's what I have for now. So anyway, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to mess around with that for a little bit. This is not what I'm going to end up using as an actual seat mount, but it works quite good to sit this seat on for now. Put all the metal in there. So I can kind of see where I want things. So I can set it across here, set the seat on that, and I can kind of get an idea anyway. That's basically how it's going to go. I'm going to have one in the back, one in the front. I'm going to have to weld a bar. I don't know if you can see down here. Underneath this is the seat belt, the front 5-point harness. I need a bar across underneath there, kind of like this side already has. That side already has the, I don't know if you can see that with my other stupid thing on. Anyway, there's 2 crossbars. So basically there's 2 rails here. I need a crossbar here so that I can wrap the seat belt anchor around that. And then I'm going to have to figure out how to mount the side parts of the seat belt. But if I mount it on top of those 2 rails, I can move the seat belt to the left a little bit more, which gives me more room in the middle for passenger and my seat belt to mount to something. So what I might end up doing is, you can't really see again because stuff's in the way, but that center rail and that side rails there and there, the floor is mounted directly to them. I might cut the floor out there and then like make a little spot just to hold water out and make it so I can wrap the seatbelt around that like you're supposed to. And then so we'll have one on the back, or two on the back, one on that rail, one on that rail, and then one on the rail that goes across. But I'm going to basically sit in here and kind of figure out exactly where I want my steering wheel and all that stuff. So I do want it more laid back like that probably. This is probably going to sit. Wow, where's my gloves when I need them? Something like that. Although maybe I'll do it lower actually. What if I do it like there? Because if it's there, I can extend it out to like here. This might be too high, because if I extend it out, it's like in my face. I want it more down like here. So I might just get some of that metal that's underneath me here and extend this just down a little bit. Or I can get a Heim joint. The other problem is the further down I do this, the more angle there is at that end. But I could rotate that too. Anyway, that's probably where it's going to go. I don't know how people drove it up here. That's like kind of ridiculous. But I might just clean up this right now. This has a lot of burrs on it. Get my gloves on, get my face mask on, deburr all this, try to figure out exactly where I want this. I'm definitely going to move the pedals. You can't see them, but they're kind of over to the right now. They're really close to the center. I'm going to move them a little bit further over to the left. This is basically how I'm going to have it sit. This is actually perfect. And then extend this out. I have an extra shaft. I need to take off this nut, which I could probably do that today too. But anyway, this is where that is. There's enough space between the edge of the seat and the center bar, and then this, if I do the same on the other side, there should be enough space for the shifter linkage to run down, and I can also probably move the shifter back a little bit, because right where it is, it's almost, it's a little bit too hard to go into like first. So I'm going to end up moving that back a little bit, I think. That fits in really nice there. The seat is actually really straight. I can see it, the center of that. Yeah, I can come back quite a bit. I can come back, I don't know, quite a ways. I'm gonna have to like set something in here, put my seat down. I have some other bar there that I might end up using. Just cut a strip long enough, set the seat in, figure out how I'm gonna mount it. I also have some angle iron. And on this side, you probably can't see because my other bar is in the way, my other video footage. But there's two bars that go across. So there's the side rail right here for the right side rail, and then the center rail, and there's two bars that go across. They used to be for the seat to sit on, but I could take out the rear one and move it to this side as the harness bar maybe, or I could just use proper new metal, I don't know. So I guess I'm going to air up my thing. my air machine, air compressor. Air up the air compressor and then take off that steering wheel shaft. And I do have another piece of, it was a Beetle shaft as well. So if I need to, I can add some length to this one. I feel like this one's actually thicker. But it looks like they did the same thing where they basically, if I cut it like back here, I can probably slip this inside that. Because it looks like they used like the stock shaft at this end. Maybe not, I don't know. We'll see, I'll have to figure that out. I might have to just get a whole new piece of metal and do that. That, and I guess you can't see up here. Man, too many like variables. Steering. The rack and pinions right here. I could rotate this whole thing that way some more. And then this angle wouldn't be as extreme. It's not that extreme anyway, so it's not a big deal, but less the better. I didn't put this on yet. Let me do that before I completely forget. Because I definitely will forget. I don't know if I need this here. This thing kind of seems unnecessary, but whatever. I'll quickly bolt that up before I forget about it. That's why it's not working. It's not 10, it's 8. And I really need to go find that bolt. I'm gonna have to take another nut or bolt somewhere and go see if I can find a Allen for my handlebars. Okay, that's back on. We'll figure that out later, but I don't want to cut anything weird right now. Oh, I'm gonna put my gloves on now that I have my hands completely covered in trash. Okay, so what was I gonna do? Yeah, get my cutting, grinding stuff deeper. Deeper is the name of the game. And I'll mute you so you don't have to deal with extreme loud. I won't mute you, I'll just turn you way down. My air compressor started leaking recently, and I don't know why. I found the leak. It's like a bolt. I don't know why it's leaking like that. So I'll just quickly do this. I don't know what size that was. Or 27, hopefully. Yes. It would be 27. Okay, there. Air compressor off. You'll just hear it hissing for the next 20 hours. It's a completely different spline, so I don't know what that shaft is from. That won't fit at all. Might try to get these nuts off the back of this. Half the stuff on this thing is American. Yeah, this is American. So while I'm working on this, basically, I don't know if you can see it, but those 3 nuts, it's like an adapter for a 3-volt setup to go to a different setup. My steering wheel is a 3-volt. This has 2 different sets. So I'm going to take this off and see what I can see here. It might actually make it really easy for me to do what I want to do. Let me just... These screws are not meant for vehicles. Flathead. Such a weird thing, impossible to get off too. Should have almost done this on the car still. That would have been smart. Either way, I'm going to have to extend the steering wheel shaft a little bit because I want it to be a little bit farther out. So I'm either going to have to cut it, add some metal rosette weld the shaft so it doesn't snap off, or something else, I'm not sure. 2. Definitely gonna find better screws for this. Bolts. Seems garbage. That's the thing. The rail I have here was actually put together fairly well, but I mean, for a long time, it wasn't easy to get a lot of metric stuff. So a lot of it, it's still hard to get metric stuff sometimes. So a lot of it is actually imperial garbage, which means like half the time I've actually used my imperial wrench set more than I have my entire life since I got this Volkswagen Bug / sand rail. Okay, so that was basically what this is. It converts it from a 3-bolt steering wheel to a 5. So I think that was a Grant steering wheel in there before. And then still on there, this is rubber? What is this made of? It's like corroded, but it's... Anyway, this has 2 different sets of 3 bolts. And I dropped it. So it was set into these 3. That one, and that one. But I want to see if the other is any different. Actually, I could just probably switch it. I'm very curious. Let me grab something. I have this steering wheel. It might end up being too small. It's for a go-kart. Two different. When suction cups fail, I guess. Hopefully that stays now. I don't know what this adapter's for, but it doesn't adapt when I need to adapt. Not thinking. Okay, one more thing. This is what I have for my quick release. Basically, it's just a little button. Yeah, switch back and forth. Basically, it's just a little button. You push it, and then this comes out. You weld this to the shaft. So, I'm not going to do that right now. It honestly doesn't matter. I was just trying to see if this would work in any kind of way. Well, this lines up real nice. I always keep this stuff anyway because it's good to have stuff lying around. I could weld that right to that. That'll extend it a solid I mean, it used to be, the steering wheel would be there, now it's here. Either way, I still have to do something with the steering wheel. Let me just hop back in the car and see what I can do. It's not a graceful car, okay? It's a race car. This will be like this. That's way too far out there. I want it to reach. Oh, maybe not actually, I don't know. I kind of want this like that. I think I still want it a little bit further out. So that's one thing, I don't know if you guys can see, but I could cut right here. Hopefully this could slide inside. I don't know what inside diameter of this is, hard to tell. I do know that it is thicker than this. Like it's a bigger diameter. But I don't know if it's enough. It doesn't actually look like it would be. What I might have to end up doing is just, it's also ruptured there, that's interesting. Might have to just make a whole new shaft because this is kind of messed up. I'm gonna have to adjust the steering wheel. I could just sit here for the rest of the day. Just gonna leave it up there for a second. This up. I don't know if I want that, but anyway. That's way too far over. Yeah, it's too high. Maybe not though. My knees might get in the way otherwise. I just think it needs to extend out this way, like another few inches. figure that out. 45-degree angle. Is that what this is? Probably not. It's definitely not 45. I'm just trying to figure out how to mount the seat the way I want it. So basically I need to start by cutting some metal. It came with the steering wheel on the wall over there. Which I could reuse if I rewrapped it. It's a Grant steering wheel. This one's just really cool. It's like a professional, personal go-kart wheel. Only for racing. That's what this is for. Okay, well I guess I get the tape measure out. I measure the distance between these two rails back here. I cut a piece and I just weld it in, and that'll be the start of how I figure this out. I just tack weld it in. That's all I gotta do. Leave this stuff here. That can go over there so it doesn't catch fire. Let me get out. All I gotta do is a few things every day, right? Okay, so tape measure. I don't know if that rolled though. I never noticed, but how far is my head going there? I guess it's flat actually on that, or I can get I should just do it all the way across the whole thing. In which case I should cut that out first. This is very slow. I apologize, but I just go slow so I don't do something I don't want to do. I want to make sure what I'm doing is something, so I never try to cut anything else out until I'm absolutely sure that's what I need to do. These are for transmission mounting. I think I'm going to cut out these bars right now. No, I'm not. They're good for rigidity, although I wish they were triangles. So that's like that. Might just have to find an extension. I could probably find a extension for that, and I wouldn't have to remake a whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna try to sit in this again and see exactly where I want this. Do I want the seat all the way back? You guys can hear me, right? Yeah, you can. Might want a different seat, because these little winglets are nice, but they also intrude on everything. I could come this much further. Let's see. Without messing it up. It's hard to do without messing it all up. I mean, it kind of works. The downside is this is now really far away. I would definitely have to come back. This. I'd probably want it like right here. This needs to come back quite a bit. And then I also move the weight of the car all the way back, which I kind of don't want. But this would work as the seatbelt thing, I think. Wait, where it is? If I put this like this, those pedals are probably fine. Except for this thing's in the way. And you have But this was like this, pretty good. Holding on, it's gonna be close, but I think there should be enough room. Plus it's really comfortable right here like that. The gas pedal's like right here. Okay, I think I know where I want it. Now let's not move at all. And I'll just cut a piece to go all the way across. It'll pretty much just ride on that, which is fine. Three feet. Basically 3 feet. Although it's narrower up here. Oh man. These magnets are like going bad or something. I'll cut these off today, I'll grind them down. Something to work with, pretty much. 35. If I do 35, that should be good enough. Just short of 3 feet. Grinder, where's my gloves at? Not up there, where are they? Gloves. I'd rather not go deaf, so, you know. And I'll mute you guys so you don't go deaf either. Because that's the kind of Alright, so I guess I won't need to need to angle that one out, just be welded pretty much straight down like that, because the seat has its own little built-in, it's like a 30-degree angle, probably less than that, probably like a 20-degree angle, on the very back side. So when I bolt that down, I'll need to figure out how to do the front. The front will have to be angled slightly. Once that's welded here, it'll be pretty dang good. I feel like that's not straight anyway. Whoever built this thing just kind of rushed through it, I think. Tape measure? I know I just had it. I'll do 4 inches there. I think that'll work right like that. And sadly, right where I want the straps to go, they welded it right to the thing. I'm going to have to cut that out. Cut a little chunk out there, make a box it in so it doesn't get covered in crap. Maybe just go off the bottom after. It's going to take some sheet metal, but it'll be fine. I should have almost painted that before I did this. Where's my pen at? Or I have a marker somewhere. 1 second. Not ideal, but whatever, it'll work. You can kind of see where I wanted it. Or actually just also say 4 inches. That's why more confusing than it needs to be. So now I think I'll just paint that. I'll get my wire brush, or I'll just cut it, whatever. You know what? Pull this stuff out, wire brush in the area, both sides, middle, paint the bottom of this, and then weld it. Or should I move it forward more? I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I move it forward more? If I move it forward more, technically I'd have more headroom if I put my head right here. Then I can just push all that stuff forward more. Let's just try a couple things here. Let's just pretend it's... Then maybe I can get it in the right spot too. Let's just pretend it goes up here, in which case I need to shorten this, so that's great. Let's just do a quick measurement. We'll say 10 inches from center. That's good. Downside is that's going to be hitting there now. I would have to come in further. Besides everything. Technically, if I went this way, I could do something like that. That's like a 45-degree seat back though. Plus, that doesn't help me. So it either has to be back where I had it, or where I have it now, but it has to be raked like that. And then it's still going to end up being this. Let me just try it, just for whatever. Give it a test. Doesn't definitely go forward. It's actually pretty comfortable though. I think I'd have to I could do this. I would definitely have to, what if I mount it like that to there and just make it a riser from somewhere. Like a pad that goes back behind here. If I was here, that would almost be perfect. Besides that, and let me move forward a bit. Probably give me a lot more room for everything. So 10 inches and a rake 45 degrees. I mean, I could just go off that, actually. Because that would go from like here to there. But if and I could move this. I could move this forward and have it come back. I think I'm going to do it like this. I think that's a better seating position. It's comfortable. There would be no room really for a dead pedal though. No, I want that like that. I think I'm going to do that. So 10 inches forward. It would also give me a backrest over there too. So this actually has a few things for me that I kind of want to do. I put that there. I build another one right there all the way across. And we're good. It gives me my room I need. This can ride up on that, I don't care. It's still very comfortable. Kind of a boring day. This is just me test fitting over and over and over again. But I want to make sure I kind of get it where I want it. And where was the front of this along here? Which is like, what, 3 feet? Curious. This I could do that. Okay, I'm going to take off the shifter for now. Yep. I'm going to do some cutting. I'm going to unbolt the shifter. From there and there. Pull this thing out. Grind that out, grind that out. Move that T-bar and that crap. Cut out these little eyelets. This needs to be shortened now. So first let's unbolt that. What is that? Like 12. It's like 12. Or it's American, I can't tell. I want it to be a 13. American. It's probably actually American. Ah. Damn you, Imperial Stone. What is that? Something like this. Oh. Don't even think I can get this under there. I wonder if I can even undo this. I might actually have to. Yeah, I'm just cutting all this stuff out. This stuff is all in the way. All needs to get out of here. When I get my new shifter, I'll find a spot for it all. It's kind of a cool little shifter, whoever made this. It's very odd. Where did that bolt go? Well, anyone else see where that bolt went? Don't think that can just come out. How do you undo that? The new one I have that come in for this anyway has a bearing that goes on both sides. So it's actually a lot more stable than this anyway. It makes it for a lot nicer shifting. So I have no idea where that bolt just went that I literally just lifted out of the car. But it's gone. So that's good. I don't understand where it would have gone. How did I miss it? I heard it clink. It was right here. Did I hit here and bounce off? Oh, it's right there. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Alright, so interesting kind of shifter. Kind of hard to see in the thing, but anyway. It's all worn out, and the new one is going to be a lot nicer for smooth shifting. So again, I'm just going to put this down here for now. With the rest of the stuff that's kind of come out, I'm going to put on my protective stuff again, and I'm going to cut out more stuff. I feel like I'm just going backwards today. I feel like I'm not getting anything done. I'm just pushing everything further away from being done. But I'd like it to be comfortable and actually nice to drive, so And the more weight I push forward, the better. So if I have my seats kind of forward a little bit better, that's better for handling and all that goodness. I should really figure out how to put music on here too. That would make it kind of nicer. For me and for you. I guess I could just run in the background for me, but that'd be kind of annoying for you guys. How do I do this? Let's just weld it on there, I think. Getting in here, I guess. It's just welded on there. Oh, I didn't want the frontal thing. Didn't even notice that. Front a little bit more, and then I can do the rest. I should just use some, but I'm not going to. Keep this as I need it. So now all this can come out. It's a weird little boot. Grind out that, cut out this, cut out this. Don't worry, it's just an Imperial tool. I forgot to mute you, so I'm sorry, it's probably super loud. But I'm already halfway there, so... Now I just have to grind that all out. Okay, I'm just going to finish grinding up this, that. I might leave this for now because I might get my new mounting point for my shifter. It was here, but I think if I use this, put it right here, oh, might be the perfect distance for where I plan to put my seat and stuff. Whew. Oh yeah, I was going to cut out these two. Let me do that real quick. I don't want to touch these lines. If I cut those next time, it's kind of a waste of my life, so let's not do that. The other good thing about having the seat raised like that, I can probably make a little loop here for the seat belts instead of having to use that, so I can save myself some time. I do not know what this is for. Kind of want it gone. I mean, it's technically good enough, but I don't want to have to do it all later, so whatever. Should do some diagonal bars in here while I have it open. I mean, this thing's pretty sturdy, but it has a lot of forward, a lot of up and down. It doesn't have much that goes this way. Still don't have it streaming for here. I feel like it's been like an hour or two at least, right? It's 3, so almost like 3 hours. 2.5 hours. It's not bad for how my streams have been going. I think I'm just going to keep going for a little bit longer though. Got that, still got that stuff, but it's quite a bit better. I guess when I do this bar across here, I'll have to do a thing that goes down there as well. Oh. Maybe I should just do a bar across there. I'm just going to clean up this real quick. Guess let's go to the other side. Another one gone. I'll probably just leave it. I should do that too. So many things. I'm gonna hop right in here. And that's why I can't be a mechanic anymore. Stuff like that crunched over for hours at a time. It's not even been 3 hours quite yet, and I'm already dying, so I'm taking a break from this. Whew. Plus I've been making noise for quite a while. Let me just air this place out a little bit. Let me go open the other side so it cross freezes. Alright, so that's it for the sand rail for now, I think. I guess I'll go for another 20 minutes just so I can say I did 3 hours of streaming. So we got the bike running. Both my wife's and my bike are running. Wife still needs a little bit of wiring done. And then just a rear seat cowl. And then the front, I guess. It's getting very close to done too. It should fit a lot better now. I got adjustable rear and front. My bike, I just need oh, you guys can get sand real bad apparently. Picking up the sand louder than me. Anyway, I just need to do a quick, I need a bolt for my bike to go through the triple. Sand rail's got tons of stuff to do. I need to make up, shorten that piece I cut a little bit, weld it in, paint it, weld it in, paint the backside, weld it in, repaint it all. Figure out if I'm going to do a tube or a bar for the front. A bar would be stronger, so probably going to figure out a bar. Weld in the steering wheel mount, I guess, steering shaft mount, where I want it. I'll eventually have to cut out or unbolt the pedal box that's on there to move it / make a new one, so I do have to make a new one of those. I gotta take out apart the whole rear left wheel and do all the bearings and stuff in that. Got to weld on the new front right axle or stub, spindle, everything assembly. Left side I have to take off the wheel, cut off the spindle, smooth it all out, weld on the new spindle and everything. Get the engine kind of running and going. Get this body that you're sitting on right now cut still shorter so we can go on top of that. And I have to make mounting tabs for this. And then I have to do the suspension and stuff like that. There's still tons to do, but you know, I'm getting there. I really hate those rear shocks. Those rear shocks are terrible. But we're getting there, that's the main thing, so we're getting there. I've done more in the last 3 days than I have in like the last month, I'd say. Well, maybe not. I've done quite a bit, I guess. This body's been constant work in progress, so. And I do have a second seat in here. I don't know if I'm gonna actually use it or not. I keep changing my mind what I want to use and what I'm gonna do. But we'll see. I don't know. I really want to take my bike for a test ride, but I need new grips now, new grips, and a new bolt, which I should just order, I guess. I should figure out one sec here. I guess I might need to get one giant heim joint. I thought this would be big enough, but it's not even close. Yeah, no. If I'm going to use a heim joint for that, I'm going to need a huge one. So I think tomorrow I might start off with, maybe I'll weld that in first, then I'm going to go to my wife's bike, finish that up hopefully. Maybe I'll even oval out that rear tail, I think, to make it straight because it's annoying me. Cut out that plastic piece. That's getting me excited for the bobber too. The whole rear end has to come off the bobber. Here, I guess I could show you that really quick. Let me shut that door. Alright, so this is the bobber right here. That whole swing arm, the shock mount, that's garbage. It's going to come out. I need to like bend up a perfect little tube around there, and I want to mount the shock somewhere, maybe either on this side or on the other side, I'm not sure. And then I want to lower the seat for more bobber style, like sit kind of in here somewhere where the shock is. Handlebars, I have this. This came off of, I actually think it was my brother's bike. So it's a bit more, it's not ape hangers, but it's a bit taller, bobber style. Or I might just use this, which came off my MT-01, which will be lower, but also look pretty good, I think, for a bobber. So maybe I'll just use that. Then I have to do a carb kit on that. There's a seal for that goes around the shifting shaft. And then that's pretty much done. I guess maybe change the gas tank, I'm not sure. This is a pretty cool bike and I like it, and I do have different tires for that, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. I got these for that because originally I was going to go from a bobber to like a brat or a scrambler something style, but I might just throw them on there and make it a weird kind of off-roady bobber, and people will be mad that I have inappropriate tires for it, but I don't even care. And then here's the wife's bike. So I have this little mount here, which will sandwich, once I cut this up, it'll sandwich this, and this just holds her gauge cluster there. So then she'll have gauges easily. I have this, which was her front windshield, which is kind of going to go in the same spot around the light. I'm not going to move all the stuff, but I'm going to paint this black, and it's just going to be used to hide some of the wiring and stuff. Tail section's almost done. All the wiring's done. I need to oval out this hole slightly for that bolt, just so I can adjust this a little bit. It's a little bit cocked to the one side. I need to fix that. Repaint all the spots that I grinded off. This is just kind of a template for the tail, which I can't really show you, but it's going to pretty much kind of go like that. And then it kind of covers all that stuff. And then maybe eventually I'll even weld in something in the bottom here to make it like a little storage spot. But for now, that's going to be that. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and the one thing I actually haven't done is I need to redo the kickstand. The kickstand is way too tall for this thing. But this thing's pretty cool. Let me start it up for you. don't want to leave it on too long because last time I drained the battery completely. So anyway, this thing's running. That thing doesn't have a battery anymore. I'm gonna have to figure out how to. I'm probably have to buy a new one. Or once I get a battery for my actual bike, I can put that battery back in here. That battery was originally for this thing. So there's lots to do, but you know, it's getting there. And I gotta figure out what to do with that engine, this engine. And then here's the thing you guys have been kind of sitting on the whole time. This is the body that's gonna go on top of the sandrail over there. So I've cut all the wheel wells out, front and rear. The bug pan is back over here. And it's kind of cut up and stuff, like the pan isn't really there anymore, it's just the spine and the rear and the front. But that's going to be used for something else probably. And then right now this is just storage for my stuff. This is my other seat I have, which I'm not sure what it's going to be used for. I don't know if you just noticed that, but it almost looked like that engine sitting back there is for this Beetle. You know when they do big V8 swaps and stuff, the engine's always sitting out the back? It kind of looks like that. It'd probably sit a little bit farther in, but you know. I've thought about doing that in the sandrail, but I have another idea for an engine I want to try. It'll give me a cool shifter option, and it'll just be fun, I think. So, this engine currently only has, it's like 70 horsepower stock. It's slightly overboard. I got bigger baskets and pistons, so it's normally a 2000 cc or a 2 liter. It's now a 2056 cc, so it's 56 cc's bigger, which I mean isn't a ton. It's going to have slightly higher compression. It's going to have open exhaust instead of the really restricting ones that normally comes on a Vanagon that I'm going to custom make, and it has dual carbs instead of the cheap, or not cheap, but the fuel injection that comes in the Vanagon. It's just not that great. So, but yeah, the whole front of the bug is cut out. It was already bawhad, and it was pretty rusty and stuff. I'm going to cut off probably a couple inches off the bottom of the bug too. I just need to weld in some support bars so I don't end up tacoing the whole thing. But I'm going to do a couple in the door, and then I'm going to pretty much cut off everything below the door. So that's why I'm going to weld in a bar across there so it has some kind of support between the two A-pillar and the B-pillar. And I'm going to leave the Baja hood on, although maybe eventually I'll buy another hood that's a regular bug hood because they are really cool. This rail is actually quite a bit longer than a stock bug. According to my quick measurement with tape measure, the wheel should come up somewhere near the front, so it'll already be volksrod style, which will be really cool. So the other big thing is mounting points for this. I'm going to hopefully weld in, I don't know, probably just a flat piece of, not flat, like square or rectangular tubing between like in here all the way to the other side, and then that'll rest pretty much on top of that bar. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe it'll even rest below that bar in front. The front bar there, I'm not sure. I haven't decided exactly yet. And then in the rear, just below the rear window, the back rear window, the main windshield, I guess the rear windshield, whatever you want to call it, a bar across underneath there. Then I need to figure out how I'm going to mount it to this. Also, I think these might hit that and not allow me to go low enough, so this whole rear section might have to be cut and lowered, or cut and like put onto this, or another bar that I do there, or something. I'm not entirely sure yet exactly how I'm going to do that. But this, I think, is going to hit the back window bar type thing on that. And then I'm going to leave, I have all the glass for this thing. The front windshield is cracked a little bit. You can get new ones. I might just do Lexan or something with like a bar down the middle for ease, and it'll be kind of cool. It has the glass still in the doors. Eventually I think I want to get fiberglass doors to lighten it up. But for now, I'm probably just going to leave it as is. It's kind of nice to have, you know, the air conditioning. And roll up windows, but because I'm cutting out a bunch in the bottom, it'll still probably be able to maintain the window, because the window's not that tall. But yeah, I'll be cutting out a bunch of the bottom. The rear window, both windows, all three windows, the rear windshield and the two windows, I do still have. I'm probably not going to put them in. I'm probably going to get you can get like a big huge window scoop. I want to kind of get them for both sides. I want to try to keep this as cool as possible, just a ton of flow. And then eventually when I switch engines, I want to be able to put the radiator probably in the back. Although I could do it in the front for weight distribution, which I might end up doing, depending on what I do. I haven't fully decided yet. But more than likely, I'll just end up having a radiator up high. The scoops will direct air to the front of it, and then the radiator kind of sit in the back windshield area, and the air will flow at the back, or something like that. And then just because I think it's cool, I'll end up doing cameras, I think. Instead of a rear view mirror, I'm going to have a camera just out the back somewhere, and I might even do that for the mirrors too, side mirrors. And then I really want to wire this whole thing up with cameras kind of like this, and I want to be able to do live stream driving it, because I think it'll be cool to drive this thing. I'm probably planning on lowering this whole thing quite a bit, front and rear, but I mean we're not there yet, so. But I think it'll be pretty cool once it's all done. Anyway guys, I think, what do we have for time here? Five minutes. Okay, I'm going to stream for another 5 minutes and then I'm going. Actually, whatever. You know what? I think I'm done for now. Thank you guys for watching. I think that's going to be it for today. I've given you kind of my idea of what I'm going to do for the next little bit. I'm probably going to end up working on that again tomorrow, maybe welding in the seat bar. But I don't think I'm going to do the top tube, unless, maybe I will. Maybe I'll weld something in just to see what it's like. I don't know though, because that's definitely going to bend without a center support, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. I don't think I have any tubing here though. I have square tubing, I could just do a square bar. And then like I said, probably gonna work on the wife's bike a little bit. And maybe I'll just put the handlebars on the bobber just to see what it looks like. And I still need a bolt for my bike, so maybe I'll go do that tomorrow, or today even. Just go grab the bolt so it's ready to go tomorrow. Because it would be cool to take that thing out. I haven't taken it out in a while. Well, since last summer. But hey, if you guys have any questions or whatever about any of my projects, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see if I can answer them or not. If you have any cool ideas for an engine in a later date, I'm probably going to go with the 2 liter for now. I don't know how long it's going to last. I didn't even bother opening up the actual block. I didn't split the case or anything like that. So I kind of looked inside. There was some rust. It looked mostly okay. We'll see how long it lasts. It'll probably last forever because I've said this. But eventually I'm going to switch engines, and I have an idea what I want to try. I have also a TDI diesel engine. I have the VR6, which is cool with the transaxle, so I could mount it horizontally like it comes in a Volkswagen, and it would be a mid-engined. It'd kind of be hard to fit it, but I think I can make it work. A mid-engine, I'd have to extend the rear wheelbase out, but a mid-engine VR6 turbocharged, about 350 horsepower, which would be crazy in that thing. But I have an idea to have a slightly less horsepower vehicle, a potentially about the same 300, well, close to it, about 300 horsepower eventually engine going in, but it'll be around 200 horsepower-ish, a little bit less originally when I first get the engine. It'll be cool, it'll sound cool, it'll rev cool, it'll have a cool shifter. You can probably figure out what it is just by those hints. I don't have it here yet though, so. But yeah, and also the garage will be a lot cleaner. Once this body is on that thing and that thing's done, I can throw out a lot of the other stuff and junk around that I don't need from it. There's going to be a whole other spot here for whatever I need, which means that bike doesn't have to sit there. It can probably come up here, so I can fit all 3 bikes nicely in a line. And then I'll be able to pull in cars like my other bug I have outside, my new Beetle, just to work on it because it's garbage and needs a bunch of work done. Maybe I'll start with that tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, if you guys got any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I am peeking out this mic. So also I need to build a quick shelf to put this. I want this whole setup that you guys are on right now on that wall. So I have TV, I have a mixer, I have a microphone right there, COVID-19 mask. That's not actually a COVID-19 mask, it's old and needs work, but anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to make another shelf below that shelf probably for the computer, and then I can hook up that mic, which is a lot better than this one, and then I'll be able to run. I want to eventually get a couple more cameras and just wire them with different wires all around the garage, and then I'll have it set up on the computer just to tap and hit buttons. But that's kind of all I've got right now. So let's just count it down here since we have 15 seconds left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like I said, comments down below if you have any ideas on engines, or if you can guess what kind of engine I'm thinking of putting in this. You can kind of guess the type, but maybe not the exact brand, make, and model. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.